am supposed to be informing you, possibly entertaining you, and the title is Let There Be Light. Let there be light. Got his hearing's going as well.
Yes, true.
Most people have absolutely. Hang on a minute, I forgot to do that. You're the problem. Start again. Share, fellow members and guests. Most people really do not understand about light. Particularly in this environment, we just put a switch and the light comes on. If we're at home and want to do homework, press a switch and the light comes on. So if you're in the developing world, oh, that doesn't happen. What do you do to get your homework done? You get a paraffin lamp, which you start it up and you sit it there and you try to look at your work. It affects your eyes, it affects your lungs, and if you knock it, it'll burn your house down. So you do not really want to be using paraffin. So what do you do? Solar lighting is what everybody talks about. But what are the practicalities? Well, the first thing you have to do is assess what they need. And do they need individual lamps for each of the houses? Do they need communal ones? I think most people want a communal type of lighting, but it can be taken into their houses. So one of the ways that can be sorted out is to get a package, a large solar panel with 10 lanterns. Put the panel up facing the sun, plug in the 10 lanterns, they charge during the daytime. When people come back from working in the fields, they pick a lantern up and take it home. Now, what's the bonus? The extra bit. One of the ladies who's looking after grandchildren because parents have probably been killed in the war or HIV, she's got them to look after. She can't go out in the fields when she's got 2 youngsters. She's got a panel. People pay her with food, clothing, and help towards the education of the children. So that's a nice deal. They've got light and it's sustainable. You can also have single lights with a single panel for people in out of the way places. Now that's one kind of lighting. The other kind of lighting which is desperately needed, and again, not many people in this part of the world would even think about it. You don't have latrines in your house like we do. The latrines there tend to be set aside away from the houses. A, because they smell, and B, you don't know what's hanging around. So what you need to be able to do is light the latrines so that women can go to the latrines without being frightened of being attacked by roaming males. So what are you going to do about it? You know, this latrine is set aside, you put the lights in, well, okay, you make them so that they're motion sensitive, so that people going towards them, the lights come on. That's good, that works. But what happens if you get to the latrine and you go into a latrine and a male attacks you? We've got these big buttons. So you hit a button and a siren goes off, which alerts everybody who is in the area. It's quite frightening if you go and on your own in the dark. You want to ask something, John?
I beg your pardon?
I thought you were going to ask something. Sort of.
No, I will, but after your speech there.
Okay. So you've got that situation sorted. You now know that women are protected when they go to use a latrine. Now, these latrines were special. They were called VIP latrines. Not because very important people used them, because they were ventilation improved, which meant that basically it's a hole in the ground with a concrete liner and a seat and some, but most are just 2 footprints. And in the latrine is a pipe It's about 100 millimetres wide diameter, and it goes from the bottom of the little tree right the way up, past where you are, up into the roof and out. And it has a mesh on the top. So all the flies that are breeding down the bottom and go out to go and breed somewhere else get stuck and fall back and end up in the bottom of the tree. So that's why they're called ventilation approved. And it's not the sort of place I want to use, really. It's even worse if you're looking at lighting in the sort of city areas. They do have electricity some of the time. So they use generators to get the power. But of course, the difficulty is if you're using solar power with batteries in a sort of urban environment, you get nicked. You know, because it's so tempting. This person has got lighting in their house at night. You want it, so you go and take it. And if they argue, you kill them. So it's much more difficult in the urban environment. Out in the sticks, it was great because people knew that those lights belonged to their village, the people of the village. And so anyone who tried anything silly, like stealing them, would probably get lynched because it is so important to the families to have those lights. Now, this goes on further because one of the things which you can do with solar lighting power is charge your mobile phones up. Now, Africa, when I was in Africa, way ahead of us, massive amounts of mobile phones doing all of their banking on the mobile phones because they didn't have any banks, so they did it all on the phones. But they needed a phone that they could use, so it was go and get something you could plug your phone into to charge it up. And of course, if you've got solar lighting with a battery, you can just plug your phone in it and it will charge it up. It's that simple. So lights, charging your phones, I don't think there's anything else you could get off your battery because you need an inverter to make it into AC, and then you need a lot of batteries to do anything sensible. Because you take the average kettle, that kettle is about 2.5 kilowatts, and the panel's not even that, so no chance of doing that. Just lighting, charging the phones. And of course, there are other ways of doing these things that are incredibly low cost. The cheapest thing I have ever seen is a 2-litre bottle, Coke bottle, similar. You fill it with water, add bleach, and then you get a string of high power LEDs and put them into the water, screw the lid down and seal the whole thing up, go along to the roof, make a hole in the roof, put it through into the house, and then you put a solar panel and attach it to the LEDs as well. So during the daytime, the light comes through the water and lights the room up. Night time, the LEDs come on and they light the room. So, let there be light. Yes, we now have light.